So we split up the webinar based on 3 specific workflows. The project manager workflow, it could be anything. It could be project coordinator, I don't know, it really depends on your company. But this is where they would build the online project or create it. So part of that is to import the bid items. So that's what we're going to look at quickly before we get into the field inspection stuff. So if you're not familiar with the city and their PQR report, you'll get some insight into what has been done on the back end. So when you log into the city, you could be building a tender for the city and building a PQR spreadsheet. That's, traditionally what happens. Or you could use Builterra. We do have all of their items, the bid items in the system. If this is strictly an option, if you wanted to do this. So building the system through standardized items is kind of how the system works. So you'll create a new tender. You will, this is a view of the catalog. So we've got the full catalog with unique codes totally loaded here. Any associated OPS or standards are attached to the items. So as you drag and drop items, you'll get some specs. And keep in mind that these specifications will come up on the mobile app if it's been attached to a bid item. So that's really handy for the field inspector to view a spec if it's been attached. Any detailed drawings, of course, can also be attached to the item. So this is Builterra sort of under the hood, by the way. So we're building templates depending on how you like to do your data entry. In this case, they have 2 template with parts, meaning part A, part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. And then the other one is streets. Each street has a single table or something. So this is really like your spreadsheet schedule unit prices. So this is all under the hood. And if you're building a template, you'll only see this interface. So you'll just be a user, you'll be required to set up a tender, and you'll pick the template to start from. And so this is all you'll see as a regular user, creating that very first bid. And this gives you a bucket for all of the items to go to the field. So once you've imported the items, and I'll show you how to drag and drop it just through screen captures here. So once you've built it, it's like an empty container, and there's 3 options for entering data at this point. And the 3 options are, you can search from a catalog, you can look through this tree view and add multiple items, or you can just click on the table and it will serve up, what items are associated with that table. So there's all kinds of different data entry methods. And depending on where you work and what you do, it's very flexible. And then it looks more like a spreadsheet here. So all of this is happening on the cloud. And so you can work on this at the home, at the office, in the field. You can build bids anywhere in the world, essentially. What we're going to specifically look at today is the import from CSV, or sorry, Excel. And this is where, if you've got an existing PQR report, how to formulate that and get it into the system using the import tab. So that's very handy, not just for PQR, but any municipal tender or land development tender. Obviously, it's just data, and these columns are totally configurable. So part of the bidding system also includes the idea that as you drag and drop items, you'll get cost estimating. So this could be from historic data from contractors. And so to do this, you would build historic tenders with pricing from contractors. And so as you drag and drop items, you'll get sort of a cost estimate. So it's actually pretty detailed as to how you can code these queries as well. Yeah. The other thing we put in, which is handy for the municipal consultant, is the idea of breaking out codes, items based on their cost sharing. So progress payments can be split up, or even the cost estimates can be split up based on the cost sharing code, basically. So super handy when you're trying to break up who's paying for what during the job. The output is a standard. This has been configured output for the City of Ottawa. So this matches their sort of current CCMS output of all of the items. So again, this is just a spreadsheet that gets exported, and you can use that for your own purposes afterwards. If you actually sent that to a contractor and they put in their prices, you could actually skim their prices back into our system. So that's a little bit of a bonus for everybody to grab data from the contractors when they're done. So we have a great system for that. Once you get the data in, you're gonna award it to the low bidder or whoever's gonna get awarded the job, and then this screen of cost estimating and bidding turns into this awarded screen, and this is where we kind of start the progress payment PQR data collection piece. Once you get that awarded tender and the pricing imported into the Builterra tables, it makes it easy for the field inspection to start. So basically, when you install the app and you log in using your same email and password, the app will synchronize with the cloud data, and then you'll be able to pick the project and then immediately start building the daily diary. So we will go through a live version of this in a minute, but the things that are different about Builterra is we use what you call looping data. So the contract items, the equipment, the labor, the notes, this isn't something you add at the end of the day. It's something you add throughout the day. So just like small little text messages, if you're doing a note about something or a remark, you can just see it, take a photo or photos, go to the add new notes, add a quick comment and submit. So it's not like you're having to write it in your book and then retranslate it back to the web site later. You can do this on your phone, just the same way you would do a text message, essentially, with a photo. So we will go through and demo that. And of course, all of the contract items here are live connection back to the awarded bid items. So the idea is that as you do quantities, it feeds that PQR process. Of course, everything is geolocated, including the daily. The daily geolocation is maybe not so important, but when you're doing things like maybe an extra work request or deficiency or just a plain photo report, geolocation becomes more important. And you'll see how we're also using that in sort of the non-contract admin processes as well. The info around here is all about approvals, who's been approving it and when, and locking, of course. So as you click into the inspection, the same tables that you saw in the mobile app come up in this sort of tabbed interface. So very similar to an Excel spreadsheet with tabs. And then the table data displays the real-time entries coming in from the field. So as the person's logging data, somebody in the office can be actually tracking photos and comments as they come in. The output is exactly how the city likes it. So this data feeds the custom report. So again, we will show you that live, and this is all coming from the cell phone. Any photo is independently geotagged. So as you collect photos with their own location, you'll have almost like an iCloud or a sort of a map view of every single photo in the city. So that's why it's so important for the city to host their own projects, is every photo is of course pictures of assets and other items in the field, easy to locate. 5 years from now, when you're looking at a broken water main or something, you can actually go and check out the construction photos. The app is extremely purpose-built, and it will do pretty much any data collection you need it to do. And then we obviously customize the reporting on the back end so it looks and feels exactly what you're used to producing in the past. So not just City of Ottawa, of course, we are dealing with a lot of the other municipalities as well, and a lot of private land development reporting, etc. So the contract administrator workflows really deals with the progress payment system. as you are collecting contract items, quantities specifically, these little dashboard, we call them gas gauges here in the office. So these little gas gauges are moving upon submitting quantity data. So as you do inspection, and not just one person, as multiple people do inspection on multiple projects, as a contract administrator or a project manager, you'll be able to get real-time progress from the web portal. So the idea here is the progress payment, or the PQR, is fully automatically generated from all of that mobile entry. You can also use the web portal to add items without using the mobile app. You don't have to use the web portal. You don't have to use the inspection app to either add inspections or even add items to the progress payment. So it's all very agnostic when it comes to picking the right tool, and users like that flexibility. So change orders and change order approvals are all done through this interface as well as forecasting. So forecasting was something we put in so the project managers or CA could anticipate overages and then run a separate pricing list on the items. So then they can go and say, hey, we're going to be over on this item. Maybe we should do a change order. So lots of ways to track the data and export it.